The most frequent word in the English language is the word the. You will hear this word more often than any other word. It is also one of the most difficult words. A lot of advanced speakers continue to mispronounce this word because they learned it incorrectly from the beginning, and now they have a habit of mispronouncing it. It is very important to practice the most common words, even if you're an advanced learner, especially if you are trying to improve your accent, because the same sounds that are produced in the most common words are produced in all of the words in English. So if you learn to correctly pronounce the top 100 words, you will be able to pronounce almost every word. And the top 100 words make up the majority, or close to the majority, of what you hear in spoken language. So your accent will not be very noticeable if you're saying the top words perfectly. Common mistakes with the word the. It's often pronounced the, the, z, da. What else? I don't know. The correct pronunciation changes. The most common pronunciation is the. This vowel, is called the schwa. The sound is difficult, but that's because it doesn't exist very much in other languages. It doesn't exist at all in Spanish, not formally. And it's funny that it's so difficult because it's actually quite simple. You have to relax every muscle in your mouth, like a zombie. Make sure your tongue is like dead. The, not the. The tongue is, there's tension in your mouth when you say the. No, relax. The. Also, with voice, make sure you don't say th. It's th. This sound is called th with voice. The. Sometimes we say the. In general, we pronounce it the when the next word is a vowel. It's not a hard rule. Native speakers break this rule often. But in general, it makes the separation between words more clear and it sounds better. The apple, the dog. However, if you rewind this video, you'll notice I said the most. But that was a consonant that came after the. Why did I say the most then? Because sometimes we say the when we want to emphasize the most for emotional impact. It makes it stand out more that it's the most. And that's another situation that foreigners will mess up when we use superlatives. Superlatives are words like most, best, fastest, worst. When something is the most extreme in comparison to other things in a certain quality. We always use the word the. He's the best student in his class. So you'll often hear foreigners, especially Russian or Eastern European speakers, they'll say he is best student. We have to use the here to emphasize that he's the only one. He's the specific best. Speaking of school, there's a situation where we don't use the word that, where people can get confused. They might say, I go to the school. We don't use the word the. We say, I go to school. We say, I go to church, not I go to the church. No. I go to church, I go to school, I go to work. Why? Because school, work, and church are institutions that you attend regularly or that you inscribe in. You are part of a community. You are pursuing a goal there regularly, usually in a specific schedule, on a specific schedule. So it's something you do. It's a whole activity. Going to church, going to school. We're not really talking about the specific church, the specific career or school here. We're just saying this is something that you do. You attend some church. It's not important where. However, we don't say, I go to store. I go to hospital. No. I go to the store on Tuesdays. I am going to the store. Because it's just when you need to go buy something that you go to the store. You're going there for a specific purpose. You're not enrolled in the store. It's not a life project. You're going to a specific store to buy specific goods on a specific day. You might have a regular day that you do it, and that's why you would say, I go to the store on Sunday. But it's not a commitment. I go to the hospital when I feel sick. This is, once again, not something that you're committed to doing. It's something you're doing specifically for a purpose. So the hospital, the one I'm going to, is the one. The is an article, is a definite article. So it has to be something specific. Sometimes you can use it or not, and it changes the meaning. I'm going to dance class. I'm going to the dance class. If I say the dance class, it means I already told you about it. Remember the dance class that we were talking about? It's that one that you already know about. So if the person you're talking to already knows about something, you might choose to use the word the. And this one can be tricky for Spanish speakers as well, because if I say the dogs are crazy, I'm talking about someone's specific dogs. It could be my dogs. Oh man, I'm tired. The dogs are crazy. The dogs that I own, that you know I own, because you know about them. There's the specific dogs. And if I wanted to say all dogs, I would just say dogs are crazy, right? In Spanish, no, you say the dog. So this can be even confusing for Spanish speakers, even though usually our usage of the word the is very similar to Latin languages. Anyway, that's sort of a short tutorial on the word the. It still gets very complicated. Like with country names, it can be difficult. Usually, if there's an adjective in describing a noun, we use the United Kingdom, the Dominican Republic. But we have exceptions, like the Congo. Or is that still the name of that country? We used to say the Ukraine, but they didn't like it because sometimes saying the without the adjective for country name, for title names, can sound a little bit weird, like objectifying in a way. So the word the can be very complicated, and it can change how things feel in a subtle way. So it's important to keep practicing the most common word, because when a word is so common, it's because it has so many different uses. So it's the most basic word, and yet it's the most difficult. One of the most difficult words. But yeah, I'll repeat this. If you're fluent in English and you understood everything I said, and you already knew everything I said, and you still watched to the end of the video, congratulations. But I still recommend you review your pronunciation of the top 100, 500, the top 1,000 words, and try to pronounce those words, especially those top 100 words, perfectly, because those are the ones that are going to give the muscles in your mouth the right habits of pronunciation. You don't have to practice all these complicated, this specific ship sits in the Pacific Ocean, like tongue twisters and difficult words. Practice the basics and make sure you get them right. It's the best training.